right now.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Gopi Shamus, and I'm the Associate Director of Admission for Lovett's Lower School. So just so excited to be here. This is one of our favorite fairs. We love to be able to see everyone and meet everyone at Suzuki. So this is just going to be different, but we'll keep it really casual and hopefully give you some just basic information of Lovett. So if you're looking to start the process this year for your child or in the future, this will kind of give you those stepping stones. I did want to introduce you to Mary Mac Stooks. She is on the call as well. Mary
Hey.
Mac, hi.
Yes, can you hear me? I just want to say hello and welcome. Of course, we do so much better in person, so give us a little grace. But we're excited to be here with Suzuki and with all of y'all and just talk a little bit about Lovett. I work on the admissions staff, and I also have 3 children. I have a junior and one in 9th grade, and then I have a son in 6th grade. So I've been here 12 years, so it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm happy to share. So, all right, Gopi.
All right. So what we're going to do this morning is just kind of go through some facts. I'm going to put on a presentation in a second. And then if you have any questions, if you just want to hold them till the end, we will open up the floor for any questions. You're welcome to ask me. If you have any kind of big picture Lovett questions or anything about the admissions process. And then Mary Mac is a great resource as well for that parent piece. So if you're ever curious about what is life like here at Lovett as a parent, she'd be happy to answer those questions for you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see if this works, and we'll get started. Hold on. All right. Can you guys see that? Mary Mac, can you see that? Great. So, we spoke a little bit about Lovett and who we are, and there was one before this, but I'm scared to mess it up. But we have, over the last few years, so starting in 2019, kind of embarked on a new strategic plan here at Lovett. And that's what you see with the mission and values that are kind of listed below. And in general, Lovett is an independent school here in Atlanta, and it serves students grades K through 12. And really our purpose is to allow students to find the courage to explore and develop the drive to discover while they're here. I went to Lovett. I graduated from Lovett many moons ago, and that sense of community, that sense of being able to find your passion is something that has always been apparent here at Lovett, and even more now in the 2020s. And with these students that are here, they're really able to figure out whether they want to be the athlete, the academic, the artist. The sky's the limit with the students here. We put together just a few little facts. I'm not sure how many of you are, kind of familiar with Lovett, if you're from Atlanta, or if you live around the school, or if you have some family members that are kind of a part of our school community. But we were founded in 1926, which is almost 100 years ago, which is so crazy to think that we're hitting that milestone. We are nestled on about 100 acres, right on the banks of the Chattahoochee. So just a really beautiful campus, a lot of space for the students to roam around. We have the 3 divisions, lower school, middle, and then upper school. So every child kind of finds their place here at Lovett. You'll see just a little bit about our demographics and our expansion grades here at Lovett. And the biggest thing about our school is, and you will hear it constantly, is kind of that whole child approach. We are really big on making sure children get a little bit of everything. That was something that Eva Edwards Lovett, who founded our school, really wanted to make sure she she gave the students that were here. And it's something that we really feel important, that it's all about social and emotional growth, academics, and for students to find their passion and who they are. For those of you at Suzuki, probably where you're going to be starting your process at Lovett is in kindergarten. So kindergarten is our first year here at Lovett. It is our biggest expansion year just because we're starting off fresh. We have a range of students in our kindergarten program. It is about 60 to 80 students every year. We're very lucky here at Lovett to have the options and figure out what feels right every year. You know, just looking back in April with COVID and everything that was going on with that, we, you know, had to make some changes. So something that we did this year, we have 5 kindergarten sections. So we're really able to make those small class sizes more apparent for the students. We have a 2-teacher model in the lower school. So what that means is that there is a full-time teacher and a full-time co in every class. We use a workshop method of teaching our students. So we use Lucy Calkins' Readers and Writers Workshop. We also use Math and Focus. And again, just formalizing that whole child approach, we really want them to have exploration starting in kindergarten with a range of resource classes. So our students are very used to moving around the lower school, going to different teachers, not this year because of COVID, but on a normal year, they are inundated with going to the art class, into science classrooms, to music, to guidance, to Spanish. And it is allowing that kind of stepping stone into everything that Lovett has to offer. And then for a lot of our families, it's really important, you know, not everyone lives in an 8 to 2 or an 8 to 3 kind of school year. So we do offer a full range of after school programs, morning, early drop off, and then enrichment classes for your students. If you are someone who is interested in Lovett for next year, the best way to kind of start your process is to visit Ravenna. I put the link here. You will hear Ravenna a lot once you start that kind of application process. It is just an online hub. It makes your life a lot easier because it gives families kind of that visual checklist of what they've accomplished through the application process. And a lot of schools partner with Ravenna, so it's kind of an all-in-one. And our applications will actually open up October 1, which is Thursday, which is crazy to think about. We will ask families to have applications back in by February 1, and we let families know of our decision by the first weekend of April. I believe it's April 3rd this year. So it seems like a long process, but it really goes by quickly, and it allows you as a family to really have a lot of different opportunities to understand Lovett, understand who we are, and making sure that it's the right fit for your family. This year, a lot of our events, which we love to host and welcome families on campus right now, are virtual, but we are committed to kind of being very flexible and very nimble with the process. And so should there be a day, whether it's tomorrow or down the line, that we're able to welcome families onto campus, we certainly will let you know of that. We're hoping. And that's it really as kind of the nuts and bolts. This is our lower school kind of picture from above. You're welcome to write down my number, my email address, and just, you know, pick up the phone, email us if you have any questions. It's really the best way, especially in a year like this where there's so much uncertainty. It's just, everything seems overwhelming. We want to make this as easy as possible for you and your families. And I'll kind of keep that up there. Does anyone have any?
Yeah, but I was going to say, if anyone wants to ask any questions, you can unmute yourself at this time. So go ahead, everyone.
Hi, this is Emily Pollock. Thanks for presenting today. It's really nice to learn more about Lovett. I've heard wonderful things from our former teacher, Miss Megan, who's there, and we loved her. We were sad that she went with you, but maybe we'll be reunited eventually.
Yeah.
So, I was curious about the parent conversation and the observations. Will those be in person or will those be remote?
Yeah, those are both very great questions, and I'm glad that you kind of honed in on that. So with the assessments and the observations, normally what happens in January and February is that we invite students and families to come in on Saturdays just to spend some time with our current Lovett teachers so that we actually get to see your child in person in our classrooms. And really get a feel for them, because as a kindergarten applicant, so much of the process is parent driven, and we don't get that time to really get to know your child. And so it's one of our favorite kind of pieces of the application process. This year, obviously, has a lot of constraints. So we are currently partnering with a few schools, and we are finalizing that list for families. What we want to do is take that burden off of you to even worry about going into, gosh, what is COVID going to look like? Is it going to be safe? I don't know. How many kids are going to be there? And we are proposing, and what we're going to do is send families kind of a series of videos that you will be filming. Your child will kind of walk you through that. And then you will send them back to us in those months. And so we will have a lot of, details kind of revealed as we move forward. But our hope is that we have several schools kind of partnering with us. So you're not, kind of spinning your wheels trying to video your child 100 times for these observations.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yes. And then I know you asked about the parent conversation. This year, we really are aware that there's not going to be as much opportunity to be a part of our campus and our community. And with our families going through the process, we just don't want them to feel like, gosh, I never had that time to speak to myself or anyone on our mission team. I had a few questions and never got answered. And so what that is just a chance to, it's part of it. It's going to be a required step of the application, but you will have kind of a 30-minute conversation with someone on our mission team. And we are randomizing that so that it can be anyone. It could be someone from the upper school admission piece. It could be Mary Mac. It could be myself, really just so we get to know every family and really take that burden off of, gosh, what do I do? I'm not sure. Those questions within that.
Okay, that's helpful. Do we set up those times through Ravenna then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happens on Thursday when we open up our application? So if you're in Exploring Lovett, you're going to kind of get the emails as things are provided for you. After Thursday, you'll actually be able to submit an application to Lovett, and all of the steps will appear. And what happens is, as every step is completed, you'll have start off with little red X's. They will turn into green check marks. So it's easy for you to kind of get real time. Okay, this is what needs to happen.
Okay.
And Ravenna will give you the opportunity. The directions will be listed on how to schedule those.
Okay, that's helpful. And then we can delegate for, the recommendation notes. Do those just come from Suzuki, or do you want those from other people that are at Lovett? Or, how does that look, and what's your preference there?
So with teacher recommendations, we will ask for your current year teacher recs. You guys are lucky being at Suzuki that you're in person. There are some preschools that are not going to be in person this year, or, I think parents are wondering what happens if everyone goes virtual again. So we are offering the opportunity, if there is a past teacher that your child has a strong connection to, you're able to submit that as well this year.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. We're
trying to be as flexible as possible. And I think we all have to be.
Yes. I appreciate it. When we're trying to leverage people who've been through this process before, they've never really been through this process.
I know. And we haven't either. So, rest assured, we're going through this together.
But no, Suzuki's been fantastic. We're so grateful to be in person. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That.
Of course. I think Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen has a couple of questions, Gopi. If you want me to read that, and you and I can tackle that.
Yeah.
How are you addressing diversity, equity, and inclusion related issues at Lovett, and especially in the lower school? This is something we are talking about at Suzuki right now. And a lot of, we are too.
We are too. And, you know, we were really lucky. About 3 years ago, a new head of school stepped into her position, Meredith Cole. And this was one of her big pieces that she was really, you know, trying to kind of raise the bar and shift a lot of our perceptions and learning and thinking here at Lovett for not only the students, but for the faculty and staff. So she embarked in early 2019 on a strategic plan, and that included many of our stakeholders in our community to kind of tackle a lot of different things here at Lovett to make sure we're relevant for what our learners need right now. And DEI was one of them. We have partnered with Robert Green. He is part of Cedar and Bernal, and he's a consultant for us. And he has been spending countless hours with us, the admission team, the faculty. He is going to partner with parents through this process of prospective parents and current parents to really talk, allow us those opportunities to share, to understand, to learn, to grow. We did a big exercise this last week. We all read a book here at Lovett. Do you have yours? It is called The Person You Mean to Be by Dolly Chu. We definitely recommend it. She's got some great podcasts as well. And really just kind of lifting the veil on some of the conversations and allowing, you know, not only just the admission team to have those conversations to our parents, but for us to partner with the middle school or partner with, you know, the upper school. And those are some of those faculty that I don't get those chances to partner with because I'm in the lower school a lot of times. So it has been a great exercise and one that's going to be ongoing. And we're just really excited to see where Lovett is going to go with this. I think the whole school and the whole community is really committed to it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Does that, I hope, Kristen, that helped kind of answer your question. And then I see there's a question about the religious component. Mary Mac, do you want to speak about that?
Yes, and what is is there a religious component to Lovett? Yes, there is. We are not tied to a specific church. We were in the past. We were connected with St. Philip's Episcopal Church. We are not anymore. The board bought the school back, and so we are just run by a board of directors, and then Meredith Cole is the head of school. We do have 3 chaplains. They are all Christian chaplains, one in the lower school, one in the middle school, and one in the upper school. They all work together, and we do offer chapel once a week in each division. It is mandatory for all students to attend chapel, but these services are very age related. Back before COVID, we would all go to the chapel together. It's 500 students in the lower school, and they would sit together, and the chaplain would present. Sometimes the students would present. We have acolytes that could actually help in the service. All different messages depending on the calendar year. We celebrate lots of holidays, lots of different religions. We do have speakers come in. We have parents come in. We've had rabbis come speak, just really depending on the calendar year. So it looks like an Episcopal service because with the acolytes, and we do say the Lord's Prayer, and there are some songs, but it is very inclusive to all religions here at Lovett. And
I was going to say, Mary Mac mentioned that it's age appropriate. So every chaplain is division specific here at Lovett. And the point of that is for them to really understand the body of students that they're working with. And in our lower school, she knows every child, knows their faith background. We really want to celebrate all of that. We want to talk about that. That's part of that DEI work that we're doing. And we want to push that needle and really, so much of Lovett is about belonging and about community and how to really forecast that for all of our students here to make us a stronger community together as one. And so it's something that is really special to all students here at Lovett. And we are actually going to have a K-12 kind of virtual event this year for all of our prospective families with our chaplains. We really want to make sure that families get to see, usually we invite families to chapel, so you get to kind of hear what it sounds like so that you can see for yourself if it's something that feels comfortable for your family. So, but this year we will be hosting kind of a coffee with the chaplains so they can kind of dig deeper and answer your questions about that. So stay tuned.
Yes, hopefully December 2nd. So we'll, that will be on Ravenna too as another date to meet the chaplains and to discuss their programs in each division. Thank you, Kristen.
Anything else that's on anyone's mind?
What are the COVID protocols for this year?
There's a lot, and as y'all know, but that's a great question. I think right now it is about spacing students, keeping them in their cohort, making sure they're wearing masks, washing their hands. We have our nurse here has been instrumental in really partnering with the families to answer questions on, gosh, my child has a fever, or that maybe they were exposed to someone, to really make sure that we're not kind of, oh, this is the situation, this is what we're going to do. It's really case by case here at Lovett. And I think that varies as it does for every school, with lower school, middle school, and upper school, because it's a different group of people, a different kind of culture in each of those divisions. The students, in upper school are exposed differently than they are in the lower school. And it's ongoing, but, Lovett spent the good majority of the summer, we were really lucky, changing out HVAC units, changing out carpets, putting in flooring, making sure hand sanitizing stations were all over the campus, making sure, if you come to campus, it's such a beautiful place, but there's a lot of X's around where people can't be. There's a lot of arrows, just to make it really easy for the students and for those that are here on campus to know the rules and regulations, installing ways that doors would open so that students are not having to touch door handles. So there's a lot of electronic kind of waivers, then the doors magically open. Readjusting lunch this year, which is a huge feat in itself, and rearranging schedules. So I really think it's kudos to the team that really put that together, because it's been a really safe couple of weeks since school started, and everyone is on campus now. And that is great. We have over 1,600 students, and they're all happily on campus and safe.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we do have some virtual options for children who did not feel that it was time for them to come back, or they're maybe they have immune compromised, and so there are some virtual options for those kids, but there are very few of those kids this year, and I think each week we'll see them coming back in person, which we hope they can all do. And just being a parent of 3, and one in the middle school and then 2 in the high school, and then I was fortunate enough to work in the lower school for a week or 2 to help out a fellow teacher, and I saw what they were doing down there on a daily basis, and it's amazing. And they're keeping the lower school classes together in a cohort, as Gopi had mentioned, and so hopefully one day they'll be able to mix, but right now they're just staying with that, with the 20 in their class. It's a little more difficult in middle school and upper school, because these kids are in different classes. They're in advanced classes. They're they take so many different courses that they can't actually do that. But everyone is masked on campus, and including us. And so we are I feel very safe every day, and so do my kids. So it's been great.
And the kids, I think they're awesome. I mean, they have responded so well to all of this. And so that's really, you forget how resilient children are in general,
Just had
Hey,
another
this is
question.
Brittany Moeller. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Brittany. I've already asked others. So.
I have a really basic question. Thank you so much for doing this, by the way, and for wonderful things. I know Ann Russell, one of my colleagues, is on the line right now, and she's obviously an alum. And anyway, we really appreciate the information. I have a super basic question, which
I
is,
love that.
do you mind reviewing at what ages children can be accepted to various different programs? Our daughter, for instance, has a mid-September birthday. So we're always sort of confused about when she can start in certain classes.
Yeah, so we go by the September 1 deadline. So that is kind of what our kind of hard stop is for kindergarten. And if that's what you're looking for, obviously there's some situations as kids get older when they're transferring from other schools, maybe internationally or across the country, that we can look at. But that social emotional piece is truly really important to us here at Lovett. And we really feel like going by that September 1 deadline really allows for them to be true to themselves and really have their best experience while they're here at school. But, we're open to talking about anything within that piece, especially for the older students. It's, sometimes you can't it's not one size fits all within that. And
So
then
that's
for the
turning
summer
5.
birthdays, yeah, what?
Turning 5.
Turning 5.
Yes,
Yeah.
before September 1st.
Yes, so she just turned 3, so we have a little bit of
You have a
time,
little
but
bit.
she will turn 5 mid-September of 2022.
Yes.
Which means she would start 2023 kindergarten. Am I hearing that right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, she'll just be
Oh,
on
yeah.
the older
No,
side.
that's fine. That's fine. And Suzuki, I mean, we are so pleased. So Suzuki's wonderful, and we have happy education in the meantime. Just good to clarify on that time frame.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I will say at Lovett, we're open to, we get this question a lot, especially for our kindergarten students. Kids are different, and we are open to really making sure that they're ready. And so if you have a summer birthday and you're applying to Lovett, it doesn't mean that we'll kind of like say, oh, you need to wait till next year. It really just depends on the child. So don't feel like if your child, turns 5 in June or July, that we're just not even gonna, take a look at the application. We're open to that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so what we do in our kindergarten classrooms, just so you know, especially for your family, because she'll be on the older end, we loosely age group the students in kindergarten by like a 6th to 7th month age range. So what happens, because they are coming from, our current kindergarten class makes up about 30 different preschools, which is a lot, which is great and is what we want. But keeping them kind of in, age range appropriate sections just allows the teachers to really get them to where they need to go before they move on to 1st grade.
That makes a lot of sense, especially when they're that young. There
Yeah.
can be such a difference.
Yes. Yeah. And
Thank
it's
you again.
18 months is a long time.
I understand that, Brittany, because my daughter has a September 25th birthday, so she just turned 5. So it's good to know because she would be one of the older children in the class. I'm curious. I have a son who will be 2 in December. We, of course, are wanting to make sure we make the right decision for our daughter, but I'd love to hear your philosophy because this is an experience for our family. I truly view that. And it's encouraging, Mary Mac, to hear that you have 3 children there. But what's your philosophy on sibling acceptance and how does that work?
We love it. Really treasure families. And, I'm a mom of 3, Mary Mac's a mom of 3. You hear a lot of that, and keeping students, and families together for that shared experience is really important. So we do our best. It's not it really is about the child at the end of the day. So we really want to make sure we partner with families who have multiple kids. So if there's something that we see or it doesn't, it might not be the right fit at the right time, we will talk to you about that because we do value the importance of it.
Okay.
Sure.
That's really good to hear. Thank you.
I know it gets scary because you're like, and then I have to do this again and then again. And
oh, sure. Well, hopefully we wouldn't have that experience, but it's good to know that you value it because I know that there's some that don't. So that's really important.
And that's very true. And when I applied him to kindergarten, it was, at that point I had 2 little ones at home, and one was a newborn and then one was in preschool. And I just thought, I want them all to be together. And I just felt like this was the right place that they could all grow, and they are different. And they do different things. And, one plays the trumpet, one plays the saxophone, and my daughter would not do that ever, you know. And so there's room for everyone here, and siblings are totally different too. But we do love families to stay together, and we want y'all invested in one place, and you know, that way the parents can be more invested. You know, we love our volunteers. You know, I mean, I've been volunteering for years, and I have lots of parents that help us with help the admission team also. So we just, if it works out, and that is definitely, you know, what, and not every family wants that though. People,
Right.
you know, some families come in and they want different things for each child, which is fine too. But yeah, we do, just like Gopi said, we really value, and I have felt that with my own experience as well.
And I mean, I think that's what makes that Lovett whole child philosophy. It is in that sense of belonging here. It's making sure that they find their passions of who they are. And it really is amazing how many paths that they can take, and it's celebrated here. It's not just a one size fits all. This is what you're going to do. You know, you really, if you want to get in marine biology, you can do that. If you want to be an athlete, you can do that. If you want to, you know, do a little bit of everything because you're just still trying to figure it out, that's okay too. And I think that's a very unique distinction for Lovett here in the Atlanta area. It really, and it you know, I talked to my mom about it. That's why she picked Lovett for us many years ago. And it's true. And I mean, we look at kind of everything that's happened with COVID and all of the things in the world that are happening, and that piece, that's, you know, that piece of having these students here with that sense of belonging is so important, and you can see it really resonating with them here.
That's great to hear. Unless somebody else has another question, I have another one. Sorry.
I love it.
I've taken my notes here. So your workshop model of teaching, I'm not an educator myself, so I'd love to hear how that philosophy relates to where our children have been, which is in that Montessori environment.
It's a great meld, and we have a lot of families that come from Suzuki to Lovett. We have a lot of families that enter Lovett from a Montessori kind of environment. The thing about our workshop model, when it, for example, it meets the children where they are at the time that they need to be and pushes them forward. And so with the Readers and Writers workshop model, you kind of have these umbrella topics that pertain to all kindergartners, all first graders, but they really are met, you know, on their reading level, on their writing level, and really learning how to incorporate, you know, with writing, that it is in conjunction with reading, and that grammar, you need to use your grammar, not just to take a test, but to really write your papers. And so that's kind of how that workshop model works for our students in the younger grades. And that echoes with the math program as well.
Okay. And I saw there was a guidance class in iGen, and those I'm not familiar with those.
Yeah.
So what are those?
We have guidance counselors throughout the school, again, division specific guidance counselors, because children are growing and they're going to experience different things at different times of their life. And that's what those guidance counselors are there for. They actually go in and teach the students age appropriate life lessons. And also our families utilize the guidance counselors if there's something going on at home, or, you know, there's a pet that they lost and the child's just having a really hard time with it. That's what they're there for, to partner with our families and to make sure that the students are getting what they need. And that's part of that resource class. Our engine is kind of our maker space for our lower school. So we have 3 maker spaces throughout the school, one for lower, middle, and then one huge robotics lab for the upper school students. And so a lot of design think is implemented, a lot of empathy curriculum, really getting these students the tools to think outside of the box, to learn, to create, to go back and recreate, and work together as a team.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Of course.
I think you kind of covered this, but I'm sure the answer is no. But are you guys doing any in-person tours for prospective families at this time?
Right now, the answer is unfortunately no. We are going to be doing some virtual kind of assisted tours. You know, we will have a virtual tour online, but that can be very flat for some families, especially if they don't know where to go within that. There's a lot of pictures. And so we will have kind of guided tours, kind of like this, just walking through the campus, answering questions. And then hopefully our team has been really open to being fluid and nimble. So if we get the A-OK tomorrow to host something on campus, we will. So, you know, Ravenna will be kind of that eyes and ears to it. So there's a lot of things we have to make sure the level of comfort from the whole kind of campus comes first. And so we're just trying to figure out how that can work, because, you know, coming to Lovett is a whole different experience than just hearing about it on a Zoom call. I mean, it's something special. It's a beautiful campus and a really special place.
Thank you.
I do have a follow-up question from Emily, and also too, just to know, I love that you guys have the whole child approach to learning, and it seems like you guys really have a unique way of how you educate your students, which is amazing. Do you offer any assistance for students with learning disabilities?
Yeah, so we do have tutors here that we can partner with for students that are, I mean, they're, you know, in kindergarten, they are growing and they're learning how to read and learning how to write, and things are going to come up. And so we do have tutors and learning specialists throughout the school, and they are there to support the teachers. They are going into the classrooms. The teachers might say, gosh, I'm really concerned about the fine motor for this child. What can we do? Like maybe they just need some cutting practice. Maybe they need some tutoring. So it's really important for our students to be supported through this process. And if there's something that our learning specialists can't manage, or there's something that the child needs that's a little bit more than Lovett can provide, we will talk to that parent of how to really give them what they need outside of Lovett. Does that help? Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Anyone else?
Also, last question, since
Yeah.
no one had,
Go for it.
what's the average tenure of your teaching staff?
That's a great question. I mean, there's teachers here from when I went to school in the 90s. So, one thing that we often talk about, I don't know, I can find that exact number for you and get back to you with the exact number. I don't have it off the top of my head, but, the colleagues that we work with are so committed. They're so smart. I mean, I think something that Mary Mack and I just talked about, with all of the, DEI work that our school's doing with and partnering with the faculty that we often don't get to collaborate with, they're brilliant. And I think our parents and our students feel really lucky that they're in their graces, because they really have opened up their eyes to so many different things and so many different values. But yeah, I think Lovett's a great place. They take care of their faculty. It's a great place to work. It's a great environment of students, and you don't see that turnover. But it's a large school, so things are always changing.
Yes, it's definitely a great place to work. And I have really, seen this year with COVID, because they really wanted our teachers to feel safe every day. They have families at home, and they have children, and they have husbands and wives and parents. And so it was definitely a team effort between Meredith and our HR and each division head and all the faculty members to make sure everybody before they came back felt good. They were able to offer, I like to brag on this because I know not every school can do this, but they were able to offer some small learning facility that these teachers, children that are in schools that are not in person, that they have to do virtual every day. So we do have them on campus, and it is so great to see these teachers being able to leave their classroom during their breaks and go be with their children that are well taken care of during the day. So that was a plus for us this year, that we were able to do that. So they definitely take care of their faculty members. And I just am so impressed by, again, being a parent, thinking, oh my gosh, my children get to learn from these brilliant people. So we're very fortunate.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I've yet another question. What is your school schedule like? And then what's your after school program?
So
consistent?
typically, this right now we are not offering the after school piece, and they are looking at ways to incorporating that. But I think this is just a 1 year kind of thing.
Okay.
But normally our lower school starts at 8 a.m. Our kindergarten is released at 2:15, and our grades 1 through 5 is released at 3. And then middle school and upper school have kind of a little bit of a different staggered schedule. They start a little bit later and end a little bit later just to ease carpool on campus. At Lovett, we do have a late start every Wednesday morning so that faculty have time to collaborate and meet. And I think parents, once they get into that groove, really enjoy their kids having one kind of calm morning to get to school instead of that rush. And I think the kids appreciate the extra sleep. And then as far as our after school, we have a full after school program. It's called ASAP here, ASAP, till 6 p.m. And then we offer a lot of different enrichment programs in the lower school that, from tennis to ballet, more specialty classes that students can, if they want to try something for a couple weeks, there's like a fall, a winter, and a spring.
Okay, that's great. Do y'all facilitate those programs, or do you have outside vendors for them?
Yeah, we have someone here on campus that does facilitate everything, but he oftentimes, if there is, like we had a fencing, enrichment, and they will change and vary. But yes, if there is someone that we need to partner with from the outside community, they will kind of take care of making sure it's the right fit.
Okay. And are they working on their program in the ASAP program or homework during that time? Or
yeah, as they get older, yes. As
Okay.
they get older, yes.
Okay.
Where it's appropriate. Yeah, we don't want anyone to leave at 6 and have the whole night ahead of them. That's like, But I would say overall with homework, our teachers are very aware that these are children and they have busy lives and, busy schedules. And so they really do want to make sure homework that is given is very meaningful.
Okay. Do you have to be in that program full time, or can you go week by week, or, depending on your needs?
Yeah, depending. There's some families that do opt in for the year. There's some that do drop in. So there's a lot of flexibility within the program, and then different times as well. Like you don't have to, you don't have to be the one that signs up till 6 o'clock. There's different variations within that.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, hopefully they wouldn't have too much homework at
No.
kindergarten.
It's more practice.
Very age appropriate.
Yeah. They just want to play.
Now by fifth grade, yes.
Yeah.
But
they're ready for it at that time.
Sure.
Would you say a majority of your students who start in kindergarten stay all the way through to high school and graduate?
I do. I mean, I think, and we talk about that as an admission team, this is a 13-year commitment for families. And so we do as much as we can to really showcase not just kindergarten, but all the divisions. And we want to, make sure families have those opportunities, just to make sure that it feels right now. I mean, things will change, obviously, and they should as you go through the program. But we really want to make sure that it's the right fit for your family for those 13 years. I will say just life is changing, and there are a lot of families that relocate and a lot of families that move away and work. And so there's a lot of life things that happen. And so that might not be the case for every family. And that's okay too. And we have a lot of families that will opt in at like middle school or ninth grade, depending on where they're coming from previously. And that's okay. And it's celebrated, and those students are embraced at every level.
Thank you. I do have a follow-up question. You mentioned moving. And this may be on Ravenna, or you could have mentioned it before, but do you have rolling admissions? Like if someone were to withdraw because of relocation and the family wanted to start in, I don't know, November, would you guys be able to accommodate that?
We can't. I mean, we've never been able to, just be with our, kind of yield that we have during the admission season. So, and in lower school, it's just really difficult. I had calls from April through, even now. And
yesterday.
Yesterday. Gosh, are there any opportunities? And we're always open to it if we can do it. But, truth be told, it's just not a possibility right now. And I don't know, that could change in the future.
Okay. Thanks.
Great question though.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Well, we hope you guys.
Wait, I have one more question
Yeah.
because this is a question that's asked on all of them.
Okay,
Food included in your tuition?
it is. We have a wonderful dining hall. We have, it is staffed through Lovett, and they make their own food here. It's delicious. This year with COVID, it's a different protocol. Everything is packaged, taken to the lower school. So there's not a lot of activity in the dining hall this year, but on normal basis, there's a wide array of healthy choices for the students. We also provide snack for them in the lower school and throughout the school, even middle and upper school. We have baskets of fruit, granola bars, things that they can grab and go. So as a parent, you really don't have to worry about that piece.
Mhm.
Awesome.
And also very allergy
Yes.
aware. I do have a child with nut allergies, and we do have lots of kids here and faculty with different allergies, and they are very well aware of the allergies that most, that everybody has, and definitely peanut free, which has been good especially for these little ones too. So.
Oh yeah. And the dining hall staff, they're so sweet. A child will be assigned someone there so they know who to talk to, and those, they will take care of these little guys and make sure that they don't pick up something by accident. And, if you have a gluten, allergy, that's taken care of. So it's a great partnership with the nurses here at Lovett and the food staff.
Thank you.
Great question.
I know. That's always
That's always asked.
Packing your lunch is really difficult. So
Yes.
And I wish y'all could see the dining hall. You can when we get our virtual tour done, because it's never looked so better. I mean,
I
so
know.
good. It's so clean. But I will be ready to see those kids back in there next year. So it'll be good.
Does anyone have any more questions?
Yeah, well, keep
No,
an
I don't
eye
think
out.
so.
If anyone is interested for this year or in the future, our applications will open on Thursday, and, hop in and see what's available for families to learn a little bit more about us. And feel free to reach out to our admission office at any time, especially this year. We would rather you pick up the phone and call me or send me an email instead of kind of wondering, and a lot of times that kind of eases a lot of that anxiety that goes with the process. We don't want it to be as hard as it seems, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll get a bunch of questions after everyone.
Send them
kind of
our
removed
way.
themselves.
Send them our way.
So I will definitely
feel
send
free
them to you.
send them my number and my email address, and I'm happy to, answer anything that they
Okay.
might have. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thank
ladies.
you guys.
Thank you for having
Have
us.
a great day.
Yes,
Thank
of
you.
course. Have a good day.